Top Thrill Dragster is on the way, and it's not what you're expecting. We're getting closer and closer to getting an official announcement from Cedar Point on what they plan to do to this awesome coaster for 2024. Cedar Point is known to go all out for their coasters, so what are we looking at? Is Top Thrill Dragster going to feature a spike, or is the park secretly building the footings for another element entirely? Today, I'm going to go through all the possibilities I see for Top Thrill Dragster's future, including some never talked about before theories on what Cedar Point secretly plans to do with Top Thrill Dragster. One of the possibilities for this new 2024 coaster will be so crazy it would shock the entire coaster industry and give us a coaster like we've never seen before.
Top Thrill Dragster, the world's first and only strata coaster. Go! From 0 to 120 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds. The sharp turn, straight up, into the sky. 420 feet. Banks and spirals downward in near free fall until it reaches the braking system and rolls back into the station. Okay, you can breathe now.
So obviously Top Thrill Dragster is going to have some major changes, but what kind are we talking about? Most people seem to think that Top Thrill Dragster will get all new track on the top hat and a brand new reliable LSM launch to replace the coaster's problematic hydraulic launch. The common theory is also that Top Thrill Dragster will feature a spike that reaches heights of anywhere from 200 to 500 feet and that the coaster will feature an intimate swing launch. Of course, the new Top Thrill Dragster would then come along with a brand theme and a new color scheme to fit the brand new attraction. While all this may be what it looks like is happening to Top Thrill Dragster, there is still a lot that is unknown according to this theory. First of all, how tall will the spike be? Will it break the height record for roller coasters? And even more importantly, could we be looking at the first 500-foot spike? On top of that, there's also the question of how the coaster will launch. Will it launch backwards into the spike and then launch forwards into the top hat? Or will it launch forwards into the top hat, then roll back launching backwards into the spike, and only then launch forwards up the top hat to finally complete the ride? There's a lot that's still unknown about the new Top Thrill Dragster, but I think there are some things that would shock the roller coaster industry if they happen, but have a solid shot at becoming reality in regards to Top Thrill Dragster 2.0. The first crazy idea I've heard is one from someone who commented on my last Top Thrill Dragster video. Eric Seitz wrote, "I'm beginning to suspect that the new furter may not necessarily be for a vertical spike. Is it possible they may be doing a complete second top hat? Maybe with an additional LSM acceleration on the straightaway after the first hill?" There's a lot to unpack with this comment, but first of all, I wanted to thank Eric for taking the time to watch and comment on my video. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing towards the channel, and if you haven't yet subscribed, it will mean the world to me if you did. We're nearing 2,500 subscribers, so let's see if we can hit that before the summer officially starts at the end of June. Anyway, back to talk of a second top hat. Well, I think it's super unlikely the park will add a second top hat for the coaster to go into after completing the first top hat. This opened up an entire whirlwind of ideas for me. What if the new footers we're seeing are indeed for a brand new top hat that would be even taller than the original top hat? Those footers could hold a 500-foot top hat that would make for the world's first 500-foot coaster. The other original top hat could then be used as a structure for a massive 400-foot vertical spike. Top Thrill Dragster could begin launching halfway up the 500-foot top hat only to roll back down, launching backwards up a 400-foot vertical spike. The coaster would then speed forwards, climbing over the 500-foot top hat and rolling back into the station. The new Top Thrill Dragster could then be a coaster that featured both a 400-foot section paying tribute to the original strata record the coaster broke, and would also be the world's first 500-foot coaster, becoming the first of whatever Cedar Point decides to name the 500 to 600-foot range for roller coasters. This would truly blow everyone away and will be an incredible Cedar Point level roller coaster addition. I've always heard people talk about Cedar Point potentially making the original top hat taller and breaking the height record. but I always dismiss those ideas as unrealistic because I just don't know if it would be possible. The original structure for Top Thrill Dragster's top hat is over 20 years old, and I'm not sure it would be able to support another bunch of weight if Cedar Point tried to make it taller. Hearing this new idea of a second top hat does seem really interesting to me. While I don't think this is the most likely option for the future of Top Thrill Dragster, I think it's definitely an option to consider, and I think it has at least a 20% chance of happening. As much as I think it's unrealistic and a little bit crazy, adding a new top hat that reaches 500 feet really does feel like the Cedar Point thing to do. The coaster wars are as close to being back as they ever were, and with talk of a 500-foot coaster coming to Six Flags in Dubai, or the potential 500-foot coaster coming to Orlando, I can only imagine Cedar Point would want to be the first to it. If Cedar Point does go this route and builds the world's tallest coaster for 2022, then I can't see them hiring Zamperla to do it. Intamin would probably be the only manufacturer able to complete such a project, and though there are rumors Zamperla will be involved in some way, I'm just not sure I could see that happening. Why go with Zamperla over Intamin? Maybe Zamperla could potentially be working hand in hand with Intamin and have a small part in this project, but if we're looking at a 500-foot coaster, then I'm betting Intamin is gonna be the lead manufacturer for the project. At the time I'm making this video, anything is still possible, and recently a crane was spotted in the Top Thrill Dragster site, likely to be used to remove the old top hat track. If indeed there will be a new top hat, and the park will use the old top hat structure for a vertical spike, then it's only a matter of time before we see signs of this in the construction going on at the park. If, however, Top Thrill Dragster's new footers are indeed for a spike and not for a new top hat, then I'd bet on the spike reaching heights higher than people expect. I'd say the spike would very likely reach 460 feet to take the record from King Dakar, but I can't see it going much taller than that. I don't think they'd be able to build a 500-foot spike when the top hat is only 420 feet. There's really so many possibilities for the new Top Thrill Dragster, and I'm just excited to continue to follow this incredible project for any new developments while awaiting an official announcement from the park. Cedar Point's Top Thrill Dragster will truly be one incredible coaster, and it will definitely have a shot at cracking the top 10 list of best coasters in the world once it opens. There's another coaster, however, that's about to start construction that will likely be even better, potentially becoming the best roller coaster in the world once it opens in 2024. 2024 is going to bring some of the best roller coasters ever, and you won't believe that 3 of the new for 2024 coasters may become the world's best coaster once they open. That's why I made an entire video on this topic, and I'll put on screen now for you to watch, so click now to find out how crazy 2024 really will be for the roller coaster industry.